I'm sure you guys still remember this Empress in Jama's gist of this guy that scammed her, exposed her nudes, and also revealed that he's in a possession of the nude photos and videos of top actresses in Nollywood. Yes, now Iniedo has been exposed, but not really exposed, not her nudes and everything, but just a mere video call and her international passport data page. And of course she had to come out to debunk it, because I mean, when we saw that on Gist Lovers page Instagram page, we were like, okay, what's next that's going to come out? Is it her nude photos? What's going on? A lot of people were kind of insulting her, that look at the kind of person, look at this, just look at this kind of man, that look at the kind of person she's with, this and that. And okay, for those who do not know, the man has been apprehended. He's been caught in Liberia. So the Liberian police officers or security officers are now calling out his victims to come and present their evidence so he can be charged to court and all of that. So that's why she's coming out to debunk. She actually did a debunking last night, and she did another one today. It's not a small thing now, so let me show you guys. But please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on your post notification, guys, to be notified when I post a new video. Let me show you guys the debunking, the obonge debunking.
And I just keep quiet and I let it slide, and people feel like it's okay to keep doing it, and I don't feel that's okay. At some point there's a limit at which you push people and people will bounce back. Now, I don't know how and why some people have tried to make sure they drag me into this bag and web of lies that's going on out there. I'm going to start from the very beginning, because I feel like if I have to talk about it, I have to be truthful. Somebody texts me with a foreign number and goes, this was about sometime August last year, between August and September. No, between August, September, and November. I think between September and November, about then, just before my friend's wedding in London. And goes, okay, he's a movie maker, he wants to make a film with me. How did you get my number? He mentions a colleague's name in Ghana. I'm not here to drop anybody's name, because that's not the essence of this video. So this guy says he wants to make a movie. How did you get my number? Oh, a colleague of yours who's a friend of mine, according to him, gave him my number. I said, okay. So he starts to chat me up. He's talking about this film he wants to make and blah blah blah. And then you know how somebody would text you once in a while, oh hi. I'm like, who is this? I have like literally the entire chat, the time this man was chatting with me. And then he goes from there, he drifts and starts to try to go personal. Oh, I'd want to have a relationship with you. And I'm like, okay, it's not adding up. It's either you want to make a film or you want to be in a relationship. The two of them don't mix. I have never ever set my eyes, my two eyes has never seen this guy face to face. And he starts to twist words and bringing, dropping some names of my colleagues, some of whom I really respect. And I'm like, if you know me very well, I'm someone who you can't trash talk my friends. So he starts to drop names. I'm like, this conversation is not going where it should go. He goes, okay, I'm going to block you. And I blocked him. It was my friend's wedding. And I said, okay, I was going to London. He said he needed us to talk about this film. I said, I'm not around. I'm going to go to London because I'm going for a friend's wedding. And he goes, okay, that would be a nice place to see you, and blah, blah. But then I knew I had to go to South Africa. That's why I didn't make my friend's wedding, because I had a paid engagement that I needed. I'd committed to a long time ago that I had to be in South Africa for. So he goes, okay, maybe we should see in South Africa, blah, blah, blah. Send me your passport, I get your tickets. We can talk there when we see. I'm like, I can't send you my passport. All these conversations, I forwarded them to the girl in question. The entire conversation. And when this conversation moved from there and it was getting like, I just blocked the guy and I'm like, I can't deal with this. 2 weeks later, who calls me? One of our friends calls me, Uche, and sends me a picture of this. I said, do you know this guy? I said, yes. So I spoke to this guy just 2 weeks ago, but I blocked him. He was trying to be funny. He was talking about making a film, and then he was trying to be funny. I sure blocked him. We didn't, the conversation didn't go far. And she was like, oh, see what has happened to this our friend, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, really? Because I'm like, how, who is this? So in my heart I'm like feeling, oh, so this guy is actually. And then I'm hearing different things. I had no idea who this guy was. I didn't know who he was seeing. I mean, I didn't know he was seeing anyone. I didn't even know him at all. We just went on a conversation. One time he called me on video call. I was at the airport going to Akwa Ibom, and he just calls my phone. And you know when you just pick a call, an international, I just pick a random call because I never saved his number. And I'm like, why are you even calling me on video call? I hung up. I'm like, let's talk on audio call. And that was it. And then this guy saves that video. Why didn't they release the audio, whatever? See, I feel like people should really leave me alone. I have my stuff going on. I'm just trying to just be me and just live a decent life. So this whole thing, I think it's a lesson to me and to literally everybody else who would want to learn a lesson from it, because I mean, first of all, as an artist, perhaps you're not supposed to pick calls that there are certain calls that should be directed at management. Do you understand? Yeah. This kind of calls falls into that category. So first of all, I'm already just looking at myself like this is all your fault, because obviously, why are you talking to Jiggets, someone who you don't? But then again, this guy contacts me and says he's from a friend, a colleague in Ghana, who is like also a highly placed actress. Do you understand? He says, oh, he got my number for that. He has worked with the girl in the past and that they had that working relationship. I mean, ordinarily, I should have perhaps called the girl to say, okay, do you know this person? But I just didn't think he didn't, I don't know why I didn't go through with it, but I should have, And that's one of the things that even made me, about the only thing that made me like, okay, relax and, okay, so what's up? We kept on talking about, oh, the script, send the script. The script is coming through, this one is going through that one. He's doing like a lot of long talk about how he wants the job to be and blah, 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 blah. So I guess this guy is just texting once in a while about the production he wants me to be involved in. And I'm like, okay, send the script, because that's the first approach. And we go back and forth and back and forth. So that's just, if you're talking about how you even got to get my number or whatever, somebody whom I respect gave me my number, and that's how I even got to talking to him in the first place. But that was just work at the first instant. Do you get? So so when people say, how did you get your passport? I send my passports to agents to get my visas, or every point in time you have to do things, and that's like an old passport. I think I haven't really seen this thing because I just literally got back, dropped my bag. The first time I opened my phone, this whole thing just exploded in my face. And I'm like, this is not even the kind of human being in this whole world that anybody should link me with in the first place, because it didn't take me 2 weeks of having conversations with him to see through his bullshit, to know that this one is just, and this is just, because there's nothing he said that he followed through. Okay, script will come, script will not come. The next thing, now in everybody's head, every man's head, when they come to talk to you, everybody wants to throw marriage at you because they feel like that is your problem. Do you get? And the next thing you're swinging from, he wants me to work with you to, you'd like to have a family with me. I'm like, nigga, you're not even making sense. So the complication and his inconsistency is I just blocked him. I didn't have conversations with him up to once or twice. He don't call me for video call. That particular day, I remember I was at the airport. Do you get? That random call just came and I'm like, I never saved his number once. So I'm like, why are you calling me on video call? Do you get? And I switch off the call. Why is there no audio on the freaking call? Why do they have an audio? Why was audio not released? And I'm so sick of this. You say, okay, oh yes, they have videos of me. Please, if I don't see those videos, then you guys are just, you're just punching, you're just deliberately doing this to me for whatever reason. And I believe that most of these things are personal. Most of these things have to be personal because bloggers, somebody throws you a story and you don't do no check at all. They send you a muted video of a supposed conversation that you haven't asked. What was the conversation? Why is it muted? People call everybody. I'm a business person. I don't just act movies. I do all kinds of business. I'm a business person. So most times I have to take certain calls even when I'm not supposed to, because that's my work. I mean, that could be any part of my life. So, and then I had no idea about none of these things until 2 weeks after that time, I think Uche called me. I said, "Oh, babe, do you know this guy?" I sent him a picture of some guy, and I'm like, "Yes, so this is the same guy that I spoke that was talking to me about 2 weeks ago. What's up?" Apparently, this same thing he had done tried to do to me. He did the same exact thing to Uche, starting from talking about wanting to be my films to talking about wanting a relationship. Uche saw right through him and blocked him. Some people are just, I'm too grown in this game for somebody like that to be able to get to me. I mean, how it's so disrespectful that anybody would sit down and say, this is where they want to drag in those names. Like, I don't want to call anybody names. Do you understand? But I don't want to call him a name. But the truth is, I would rather die than anybody to allow such a name stick on my name. I have worked too hard for me to let that shit slide.
So are you
like to think that's okay?
So are you saying that you have not met the guy before physically? You have not
I have never, Auntie Zuki, in my entire life, I have never set eyes on this guy. We spoke a couple of times in a period of 2 weeks, and I gave again. Let me even tell you what made me block this guy. It was like I said yesterday. I was just too tired yesterday. I wasn't coordinated, and I just couldn't sleep. I had to just put that out. So he called me. He said, "Okay." Oh, I said. He needed us to conclude on the film. I said, "No, I'm not available. I'm going to be traveling." And he said, "Okay, that is meant to come on that same team that is, he's friends with." I don't just want to call names. I don't want to, because obviously somebody who's a serial liar would bring in names just to make his story look believable. So that's why I don't want to even give that credit of mentioning anybody's name. So he said, "Oh no, that he's friends with that person and that is going to go for the same wedding." Okay, then fine. Let's talk when we get there. Okay, I'm going to help you get your passport. Okay. And the next thing is, get your ticket. He says, "Okay, send me your passport page." I said, "I can't send you my passport page. This is my agent. I've spoken to my agent. He has given me a breakdown of ticket. That is it. You can sort it out with the agent." And he goes, "No, that why can I give him my passport?" I said, "I cannot give you my passport page. I have the chart of these conversations." It was at that passport page point, I'm like, you know what? Why the fuck am I talking? But someone won't buy tickets. You must collect my. What is your business with my data page that I must send to you? Because so the whole thing was already sounding really messed up and stressful. I said, no. Anybody that knows me knows I run away from those kind of things. Like, I just blocked him. I'm like, why am I even talking to this guy? I just blocked him, and that was it. This is a span of 2 weeks. Literally about 2 weeks after, this girl calls me to say, "Oh, do you know this?" I say, "Yes." And then that's how I realized that this guy was dating this other lady, and that they had done all that and had all that bohaha, whatever. Says I jumped right into this matter because apparently Uche and I had already discussed amongst us. We realized that this same guy did use the same format he tried to use on me on Uche, but Uche was also smart enough to cut him short in the middle of the conversation to also block him. So. We are not, you fell for this shit. That has nothing to do with us. You cannot try to drag anybody else into this shit. Do you understand? I feel like it's absolutely wrong. I mean, there are limits to things that one can take. That's not the kind of person in this my whole life that anybody should put my name and put the person's name. I will not accept that level of disrespect.
Okay. I think that we should also give okay, like for every media house, whether soft sell or hard sell, for what I saw on Lover's page, Lover I think she was trying to say that the guy has nude pictures of 9 Nigerian actresses, and that the one that pained her most was the fact that you were among the ladies that nude was found with the guy. So I think that I think for Lover, I think maybe he or she just felt that Ini should not be in this mess.
No, that's not the case, Auntie Zuki. Let me tell you what the case is. The case is that particular person and whoever is sponsoring him or her. There's an obvious thing that they have about me that is driving them wild, that makes them to look for these stories, no matter how untrue it sounds, but they will post it there because it's in me, for whatever reason or whatever recognition they want me to give them. It's something that has been consistent over time. I'm sure people by now would have noticed it. There have been stories this person has posted that has had no basis. For instance, there's so many stories. Remember when they talked about after my friend's wedding? There's no kind of unbelievable, like inconceivable stories these people have not put together. And I know there's someone behind it, and I know the person who is trying to use these blogs against me. See, let me tell you the one thing I realized about blogs. So all they need is find one person who has a vendetta against you, and then the person keeps calling them with these stories, and they just sit there and become a tool for these people to use as a vendetta against somebody else. A story that you don't even know the backstory, but you accept these stories and you don't care what you do to this person. And there is a punishment. Everything we do in this life, punishment day. Do you understand? When you do something to people without thinking, what are the odds that this thing is true? What if this is not true? Do you know the damage? People don't care. Everybody just wants to clean up and trend and make money or whatever the hell it is they do. Nobody cares about the repercussions or the consequences or the adverse effects. And then you talk about mental health for some people. These are all this, but nobody really cares. So the first thing is that the only thing I can say about the blogs is they will just write what they want to write because they're satisfying whoever it is that is sponsoring them. I just, when I realized that thing, I gave up on all the blogs, and I don't bother about what anybody writes, because I just like, you're allowing somebody else to use you in a fight that you know nothing about, and you're heaping punishment and curses on yourself. Because the truth is that you will reap what you have sown. So if you keep damaging somebody who you have not verified the story, and that story is not true, and you keep finding ways to try to damage that person, you will answer to it. Not be me, not be my fights with you.
So do you think that what is happening with just about publishing that thing? Do you think it's personal? Do you think that just about has something against?
It's always a personal story. Somebody out there will just have to reach out to them or give them the story for them to publish. And then they just publish because their own is about this person. Oh, it will damage, to ridicule. Wow. Nobody's thinking about where is this person coming from with this story. What are the possibilities that this story could be true? Like, what if this story is not true? No, they don't care. They just want to tear you down. And that's why I love God. Because you cannot tear down what God is building. You don't have the power to do that. You can only try. And my point is, the reason why it looks like I'm having a meltdown is because for me, it's the height of disrespect that somebody go, God, like, look at all my years of being in this industry. And then look around, at least the ones where we say now, the people, everybody, it looks like my life is on their table. So you should be able to do, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You have to just drag me in it.
But Amy, can I ask you?
I think that every one of us are responsible, should take responsibility for every action that we take. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? All of us have been in relationships that did not turn out so well, or something that you're proud of. You bear the consequences of that decision you made, however it comes out. You don't try to pull other people into that shit, because that's your mistake. That's your mess. That's your mess. Where's all these stories coming from?
But are you
what do I have to do with this?
I mean, are you friends with Empress? Are you guys friends?
No, it's not. Mama, please, that's inconsequential. What is it? The fact is that, even like I said, Empress and I we're not best of friends, but we are cool, I believe. I go to a store in Lagos, in Abuja, I buy things, like we are cool. When this thing happened, when my friend sent me the picture of this thing that happened, I know how far we went. We've gone for a meeting at Eco Atlantic on this matter just to see how we can arrest the guy. I pulled all my stops. I called everybody that I knew in places of authority to see how we could get a hold of this guy, because I'm like, this guy, because you don't want to use my, so if not, we say, God, give me discerning spirit. God forbid bats in this guy evil, feed on rubber. So I had that whole anger in me to be like, this guy has to be apprehended no matter what. I pulled out my own stops. I asked, we have common friends. They know how many nights we stayed up talking about this thing. How many of my colleagues have chopped off their ears talking about how can we stop this man? How can we get this man arrested? This cannot go. This guy can't get away with this. How many times? I don't have to drop names, but these are all people, my friends. So you know the kind of people I'm talking about. Most nights I wouldn't let them rest. We need to do something about this. And then how am I the same person that is this debt is being thrown at? For what? Would it concern me? Concern this nonsense? I think, well, I'm done with this and I don't want to talk about it again. I don't, I really, if it gets to a point where it upsets me further, I know exactly what to do. But for now, I think I really think enough is enough for these people. And see, you know, I'm building my life in a certain way, and I'm getting involved in things that I know the devil is trying me. Because every time it looks like things are about to line for you, some evil will just try to come and do, you know, just try to tempt him or herself. I know that's what is going on here, but I'm not going to talk about this again. And one thing I wanted to drive home was that I will not accept this dent on my image. I will not accept it. I will not allow this level, this kind of debt that for the life of me, I cannot imagine myself in the middle of this bullshit. So everybody should just leave me the hell out of it. They can comment what they like, whatever. I'm not even I'm not even going social media because I don't have the energy and the stomach for it. It's just that I had so many of my people call and message, and you know, and so opening my phone, it was too much. But then I haven't really gone out to read anything anybody's writing, and I really don't care. And if they have that video, please post it for the life of me. You guys, stop saying shit that you cannot prove. Stop it. Have a conscience. Stop it. Stop being used as a tool for personal vendettas. It makes no sense.